Happy Halloween, everyone. I took a poll on whether or not you wanted to see a C story vlog or a school story vlog. School story being something, high school, college. And then C story being military stuff, Navy stuff. And obviously, as you can see, the C story won for whatever reason. I was told that the C story seems more exotic, so most of everyone goes to high school, college. That's the normal stuff. They want to see something more exotic. They want to see me talk about overseas things, which makes sense from a civilian point of view. But I looked at this list, and it's mostly military. So I guess we want to just share stories again. But that's cool. So I'll eventually talk about other stuff like that, high school. But for this, I will be talking about Halloween because it is Halloween right now. Now I was making a video earlier about when you go underway and you know that Halloween is coming, you're gonna want to prepare for Halloween. You want to have a costume ready when you go on underway, or you want to make a costume. That way, when you wear the costume for the Halloween contest, you can show off your creativity, or something along those lines. Or when I go to command-sponsored Halloween parties, right? Something that's just super generic. For us, it's super generic, and it's just a normal thing. So I looked at that video and I said, no, hold off on that because that's something that I want to show off when it's more routine. Right now, I took a poll. It's Halloween. I need to do something different. I need to do something that's more exciting. So, I guess my better judgment for myself, I'm gonna start telling you ghost stories that happen on a ship. It's not good for me because it's midnight and I get easily scared. I can't even watch movies unless it's a setting. There needs to be like a lot of people. But right now I'm by myself. It's nighttime. It's Halloween. So, but you can watch this video anytime. So that's up to you. So, Port Royal, the ship that I was on, that thing is haunted. That thing is super haunted. I think every ship is haunted in some way because I've read so many stories from several sources of people talking about crazy things that happen on their ship. But since I haven't been on any other ship than mine, oh, that's not true. I was on the battleship Massachusetts. That thing is also haunted as hell. But I don't really remember what happened. I just remember something happened, and I said to myself, this ship is haunted. But Port Royal, haunted. And I have personal stories, but I'm going to tell you one of the stories that I heard when I first got there. So there's this BM. Now picture this. Dark night. Kind of rainy. A little rough. Got rough water going on. He was supposed to be aft lookout, but because of the rough waves, they made him move up to the helo hangar. That way he's safe. So now he's inside, sitting in the dark, red lights, looking out into the ocean, just darkness. He hears a rumbling behind him. Thinks maybe it's one of the guys that was weightlifting upstairs. There's a gym upstairs. Maybe it's one of the officers coming up from Oak Country to go to the gym. Maybe it's one of the ITs who's going to go to line of sight so they can maybe talk on their sat phone. Who knows? Let me turn around and find out. So he turns around, takes a look at whoever's coming up the stairs, and he sees a woman, but she didn't look right. She looked kind of grudgy, like the movie Grudge or Ring or one of those one of those white lady scenarios. White lady being a type of ghost. Um, but she looked really weird to him. He didn't know what to make of it, and she was walking kind of, you know, kind of like that. So immediately he said that his heart started pounding really fast. He didn't really know what to do, and then it happened. This figure kind of looks towards him, like he can tell that it sees him in sight and just kind of goes for him. And it wasn't like a regular like, it wasn't one of those runs. It was it was like, like teleporting type, like just coming at you really fast, but not really. So immediately he jumped and turned the lights on. Now you're not supposed to do that. You can't turn the lights on during darkened ship. That is breaking all sorts of things. But scared him enough that he did it real quick just to just to feel safe. As soon as the light hit this thing, gone. Didn't see it. It's almost like it wasn't there. No one there to vouch for him. It's unfortunate. But to this day, he said that he would never stand that watch. So whatever he saw, I trust that he saw something that was exactly or similar to what I just described, what he had described. And that was the story that I heard when a couple months into me being on the ship. Now this was aft kind of. Apparently this thing is aft. This thing just likes to hang out aft, if it's just one thing. I would also ask the new BMs who are standing the same watch, like, hey, without giving anything away, just in a very vague manner, hey, you stood aft watch, right? Or aft lookout. Yeah. These is like Seaman Timmy type, straight out of boot camp, straight out of A school, just got the ship like 3 months ago type deal. Seaman Timmy, hey, you've stood aft lookout. Have you seen anything weird? That's super non. I could be talking about anything. I could be talking about aliens, which would kind of also be interesting if they said that. That would just take the story a whole different route. They say the normal things. Oh yeah, I see. Sometimes I see other ships. Maybe I saw a submarine. I don't know. Reported it. Sometimes the water glows because when you're out at sea, there's these bioluminescent plankton that when the ship disturbs, they glow. So I've seen it at that school. The water looks all colorful. So he said the normal things, and then the other one when I asked, because there was two of them at the time, interrogating so to speak. The other one said, yeah, sometimes though it'd be messing me up, and I was like, well, how so? And he said, I don't know. It's I don't know if I'm just tired or what, or if I'm hallucinating, but sometimes I see people that aren't there. And I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean aren't there? How do you see them if they're not there? Trying to draw more information out of this guy. He said one time I was sitting there and it was cold, so I was in my jacket. Yeah, and then someone sat next to me. So I kind of try to look to see who it is because it's really dark. You can't really see anything. But if you stare long enough, you can make out a face. He was never able to make out a face in this unknown person. He said he was staring at this person for a while, and they were staring at him in silence. And there was no. Usually, I may do that. I may sit next to the aft lookout and just like stare at him. But I'll be like, "Oh yeah, what's up? Hey man, like how you doing?" Because I'm not just They're just sitting there for like however long, hours. Interact with him. He said this thing was just staring at him forever, and he was getting unnerved because this thing wasn't talking, and he was talking to it. He was like trying to make conversation with this thing, and it was just staring at him. So he said that, yeah, he said that messed me up. He doesn't know what that is. Now, when I was underway and working in the nine, so I was engineering, our office is as aft as you can get. So I was in there doing work around nighttime. I was making a spreadsheet, and I'm sitting there on my computer like this, right? The door is behind me, let's say. Now you can, when the door is closed, you can feel a pressure in the room because of how everything is kind of airtight. But there's a little bit of a leak on the door because it's not an airtight door, so you can feel the pressure's there, but you can hear like a sound. And when the door opens, it's like, and then like it's like the pressure is relieved in the room. You can feel that. You don't even have to hear it. So this door is behind me. I'm doing work. So I have my headphones in. I'm listening to like Papa Roach or something loud, something that I can't hear the world with. And all I felt was pressure relieved. Now, there's other people that work in the same shop, and then a lot of engineers have the code to the room, so it could be any one of them. So I feel the pressure relieved. So I look behind me, but the door is closed. I was like, that's kind of weird. Usually, if the door never opened, you wouldn't feel the pressure release. But maybe another door outside was opened, and then the pressure released that way. Kind of weird that I would feel it in this room, but it's whatever. I just went back to work. A couple minutes later, I felt the pressure relieved again, and then I felt it go away. So I thought someone walked in, so I looked, but again, no one was in there. So I'm starting to get unnerved, but I need to finish the spreadsheet because it's due in like the afternoon next day. So I take a headphone out so I can hear what's going on behind me. I start working. I hear the keypad getting clicked on because the door into the shop had a keypad. You'd hear like from the other side of the door. I heard the keypad. I heard the lock get disengaged. I heard the door open. I felt the pressure get relieved. So I looked real quick. Nothing. Doors closed. I was like, pause my song. Headphones, wrap the headphones around the iPod. Save as. I will work on this thing tomorrow. So I left. I got out of there. I am not trying to stay in that room. What the heck? What the hell happened? I can't even explain it to this day. I have no idea what the hell that was. So that happened like I think my year and a half mark around that time. It wasn't even deployment. It was a random underway. On deployment, there was a situation where I was back there again around the same time, like midnight, 1 o'clock. So I was walking through that little corridor, and I walked in front of my door, and then I heard something behind me, so I looked, nothing. So in my mind, I was like, it's either an engineer who's doing work, and I can't see him, like he might be around the corner, or, it might be that thing from last time. So out loud, I yelled down the corridor. I was like, it's called P-Way, but I'm saying corridor for the civilians. I yelled down the P-Way, and I was like, hey, if anyone's back there, show yourself. Out loud. I said that to whoever was back there. No response. Now, there's these things called battle lanterns, like, in every space. And when the power goes out, these battle lanterns are supposed to light up because they're not receiving the power. So the battery inside kicks in, turns on the light. That's one way it turns on. Now, another way is if you press the button. But other than that, things should be off, especially if the lights are all on. Now, there was no testing. I didn't hear any generator load test nonsense. I didn't hear anything about faulty faulty lights or electricity or power surges. I didn't hear anything of the sort. As soon as I said, "Hey, show yourself," the battle lantern starts flickering vigorously. Again, if it were turned on because of the power, it would just turn on and just be on. It would not strobe light in such a way that looked like it was trying to Morse code at me. You can only achieve that if you press the button. So I'm standing there yelling. Thing starts talking to me. I'm out. I run. I'm just running down this P-way like I'm like yelling like, "Yo, there's a ghost. There's a ghost." I like run past all these people, like these GMs carrying boxes. I like almost knock one of them over, like, "Yo, there's a ghost back there. There's a ghost back there." I run past the DC office. They're in there watching TV, like doing hammering or whatever. They just see me run by, like, "There's a ghost. There's a ghost." I run all the way to the front. I get to the galley pretty much, and then I stop because there's a lot of people nearby. I kind of felt safer. So, again, I said it was around 1 o'clock in the morning. So I sit down in the mess decks, and I just chill there for like another hour or two because I'm not trying to be in the darkness. There's all these people there. I feel safe. But yeah, that is some craziness on the ship. Another story. Yeah, this video is really long, but another story real quick. It's not mine. We had an IT2 who it was sensitive to, the otherworldly. But I remember an early time was that like when she first got to the ship, she was walking around. She'd just gone to the smoke deck because that's her favorite thing in the world. And she had just finished, so she was going inside. And it was dark. It was around maybe 2 o'clock in the morning. It's pretty much all this stuff takes place within witching hour or near witching hour. But she goes in, and then the staircase, right, the ladder well. It's these bars, right, with a little metal thing on the side, and then it's steps. And then if since it's in the middle of the room, then you can kind of see through it. You can kind of reach through. So she was walking up these steps, and she felt someone reach through and grab her foot real quick. So she was like, "What the heck?" Looks, sees someone like staring at her through the little hole. So she was like, "Hey, quit playing games." And then she went upstairs and told us about it. She was like, "Yeah, some guy tried to like trip me on the stairs. Like he was playing this joke." I think she said a name. She thought it was someone specific. But she told us that, and I didn't know what ladder well she was talking about. So, it's whatever. But in the morning, we were going down to the ship store, and we walked past the ladder well that she was talking about, apparently, and she was staring at it. And so I turn around, I see her, like, lag behind. So I'm like, "What happened?" She was staring at it, and she goes, "Does this back come off?" And I was like, "What do you mean, does this back come off?" So some of the ladder wells have a back. So there's no reaching through there because it's just a metal sheet behind the ladder. Yeah. She doesn't know what she saw. She said she saw someone reach out, a hand reach out, grab her foot. She pulled away, and then she looked through the steps and saw eyes. And then in the morning she comes back, and it's just a wall pretty much. Yo. So yeah, that's I'm sure I can remember more stories, but this is all I can think of right now. It's all my brain can handle at this moment before I go to bed. Sweet dreams, right? But yeah, thank you for listening to Ibarrola's Halloween special. I guess I will see y'all next time. Was the she had been looking at this